16 months ago, I started using a set of wheels that I purchased direct from China via eBay. The hubs were equipped with what was termed ceramic bearings. This is my giant Defy with those wheels fitted. I've now ridden these wheels for just over 5,000 kilometers. For the last few thousand kilometers, the bearings in the front wheel have started to feel a little rough, and in the last few hundred kilometers, they've started making a bit of noise. In this video, I'll show you how I replace those original bearings. First of all, let's mention a few things about those ceramic bearings. Although advertised as ceramic bearings, those original bearings were actually what's known as hybrid bearings. They have a steel inner and outer race, but the ball bearings are ceramic. I purchased my original wheels despite those ceramic bearings, not because of them. Indeed, I would have preferred just ordinary deep groove steel ball bearings, and that's what I'm replacing those ceramic bearings with. Other than for the marketing kudos, these ceramic bearings are not a good choice for bicycle wheels, or other bike components for that matter. Apart from the original bearings being relatively low quality, it's probably this inappropriate use of ceramic bearings in this application that means they haven't really lasted that long. For those that want to know more, I'll put a link to a Hambini video in the description. Let's have a look at the equipment I'll be using. First, there's a fairly sturdy hammer, and I'll complement that with a rubber mallet. I'll need various Allen keys, and I'll be using a small metal rod. I'm using a piece of old spoke. You'll want something to act as a bearing drift. I'll be using this crank extractor tool, but you can use anything of suitable size. Sockets are usually quite good. Finally, you want a block of soft wood. I'll be using this wooden bench top. First of all, I'll remove the end caps that cover the bearings. On these wheels, they're actually stub axles, and they're removed by unscrewing, which is where the Allen keys come in. However, other wheels may be different, particularly hubs with through axles, where these end covers often just push on and pull off. So that's the one removed. As you can see, it's a stub axle. And now to the other side, remove that. Now you can see the bearings. If you look in the center of the bearing, you'll see another part of the axle, which actually sits between the faces of the two bearings. This spacer is quite critical in these wheels, but not all wheels have them. Next, I remove the old bearings. This is what I use that piece of spoke for. I push it down the outside of the spacer tube, so I can tap it gently and knock the bearing out. I'm doing this so I can apply the bearing removal force to the outer race, so I can get the bearings out without damaging them further. This is so I can look at those bearings in another video. However, if you're not worried about degrading the old bearings further, you can knock the bearings out using a screwdriver on the center race. The bearing and the center spacer should drop out. Turn the wheel over and knock the other bearing out. Give it a bit of a clean and you're ready to install the new bearings. As with many of my assembly processes, I tend to use a bit of copper-based grease to aid installation, inhibit corrosion, and to help with potential later removal. We can now install the first bearing. Pop the bearing on top of the seat and using your drift gently tap the bearing into position. You can usually feel and hear when the bearing is fully in place. Turn the wheel over to put a new bearing in the opposite side. Don't forget to put that spacer in first, otherwise you could be in trouble. Repeat tapping this second bearing into place. That's the bearings installed, and now you can replace the axles. Job done. I hope you found this guide useful. If you did, please consider subscribing. Hitting the thumbs up or the thumbs down button helps me to know whether it was worthwhile or whether I wasted my time making this video. From me, for now, it's goodbye.